Welcome for this practice. This is a relatively intermediate practice. While we're going to begin simply, we will move into intermediate stages of this practice. It is always important that you pace yourself. Pranayama is not an opportunity to feel breathless or to become coercive or frustrated with yourself. It is an opportunity to practice patience, respect, inquiry, curiosity. You're working with very beautiful, powerful forces in your body. Namely, prana is one of those primary ones. And we're going to be developing our ability to concentrate, to stay present, to be non-distracted, and ultimately to arrive at some tranquility. So as this practice progresses, you're going to have opportunities for intermediate levels of the practice. We'll do 3-part breath with the pauses. That means that you're interrupting the inhale 3 times, and then you'll have a complete exhale. And then you'll learn the opportunity available to practice exhale suspension, a beginning level of exhale suspension. And my hope is that when you arrive there, you're going to sense that that suspension is a place of refuge, a place of deep quiet. But we are building ourselves to it. And so at any point in the practice that you feel breathless or you become more agitated or coercive, it's a sign that mental habit is taking over, your biochemistry is getting out of balance, and you want to back off in the practice and then resume again with, let's say, maturity and grace. Okay. So hope you enjoy the practice. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. For any videos that you hit like, it's feedback for me. When you subscribe to the channel, it helps me to keep producing more content for all of you. And always leave a question or a comment below if you have anything to offer. I would be glad to hear from you. Thank you. Now enjoy the practice. Let's place the chair. It's going to be facing the long edge of your yoga mat. You won't need a blanket right now. You will need 2 blocks to sit on. Great. So if we take the 2 blocks, we're going to be sitting on them like a little bit of a bench to start. So it's really just to give us the support we need in the hips and the pelvis. So place them like this, like you made a little park bench for yourself. Okay, so for this seat, we're going to be facing away from the chair. The distance between you and the blocks is going to be based on your body proportions, like how long is your arm. The height of the chair is pretty much standard, so are the height of the blocks. We're all not the same height, however, and we don't all have the same torso length. So you can adjust when you see what we're doing. So take a seat facing away from your chair. Go ahead and sit cross-legged in Sukhasana. And in this Sukhasana, lengthen up through your spine, cross your left hand to the outside of your right knee, and then walk your right hand around to the seat of the chair. And reach, if you can, towards the back corner of the chair. Right, so versus reaching down to the floor with the right hand, where we sometimes end up kind of compromising, we're going to reach across with the right hand there. Right, now we're going to come into the Ujjayi breath and try to have a relationship with the first third, the middle third, and the upper third of your breath. You're welcome to close your eyes if that helps you to concentrate. And see if you can balance your inhale with your exhale again. Now, as you're breathing in this position, if you brought your Ujjayi with you, and that's from the first session that we just did, if you brought your Ujjayi with you, you'll notice that the twist puts some compression on your body. And in response to that compression, how you're breathing right now will actually increase your lung capacity. You're massaging the internal organs. You're expanding the space between the lateral ribs, so those are your intercostal muscles. So even though there is some compression in the body, we don't want there to be like tension in relationship to that. So check that the shoulders are not rising up. And as you keep the neck long, let's do 3 more Ujjayi breaths here and twisting to the right. And give your entire focus to the smoothness of the breath so your mind has a place to land, again, as if your mind is resting on the surface of a body of water in nature, and it's very reflective. And with an Ujjayi exhale, come around to face forward, and then cross your right hand over your left knee. Walk the left hand around onto the chair. And listen again for the silence inside the Ujjayi breath. There is that silky sound that keeps pointing the mind to silence. And then follow your Ujjayi exhale to come around to face forward. Now, sitting up on the two blocks, and you could add blocks to this if you need to, we're going to be interlacing the fingers at the small of the back and then take them up onto the chair seat. Okay, now I'm not very tall, but I am long-waisted. So when I put my hands up on the chair seat, I have enough space, it's quite breathable. You want this to be comfortable. It should not feel like your shoulders are being forced forward. But when you have the arms back like this, it's training for bridge pose, which is training for shoulder stand, which is training for plow pose. And all of them are training for Jalandhara Bandha. So as you squeeze the shoulders back, lift your heart, roll the collarbones up and back. Set the shoulder blades down the upper back, and then bring your chin in towards the base of your throat. And practice the Ujjayi breath here so you can sense as you bring your chin down, you have to lift the base of the skull to keep a hollow spot in the back of your throat. The sound of the breath should still sound unencumbered and silky. Now see if as you're working with the Ujjayi breath here, can you balance the inhale and the exhale? And try to get that for 3 breath cycles consecutively. Place your chin up, release your hands and your arms, rest your hands out over your knees, and deeply relax your mind and your body. and relax the breath technique. So we were in a position that mimics Jalandhar Bandha. We had the tone of Jalandhar Bandha. We were not doing any suspension. And so right now, relax the breath technique altogether. Okay, and then we're going to use these two blocks in a different manner, also with the chair. So one block is going to be for the shoulder blades, and that might be on the medium height for you, or it could be on the flat setting for you. The second block will be for the head, and if you've got this on the medium setting here, you're probably going to put this on the tall setting. And one reason to have the head a little higher than the heart in this practice is that we want to mimic the position that supports Jalandhar Bandha, and you'll soon see why. Now the distance from the chair, again, you don't quite know that until we get into it. So you'll place your shoulder blades here, your head, and then what to do with the chair. So you can watch here. I should say what to do with the arms and the chair. Okay, so you place your head, shoulder blades, make sure that's quite comfortable. So the edge of the block is at the bottom corners of the shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades sit back on the block. They should rest comfortably as if you were putting coasters on the table, and then you're going to put a glass of water there. It's going to be level. And then you're going to reach back under the chair seat to hold the legs of the chair. So I just reached back to hold the legs from the inside, and that's a place where you can then have your hands not be so low to the floor. The arms are supported, the elbows are straight. Now, of course, for some people, this reach is going to be quite big. In that case, you're going to put the block under your shoulder blades on the flat setting. The block under your head is going to be medium. And just by lowering those two blocks, the feeling in your shoulders is going to probably be more easeful. And so now let's notice that the chin is naturally snuggled a little bit towards the base of the throat. And can you once again do the Ujjayi breath, recognizing all three geographical regions of the breath? That is lower, middle, and upper torso. You may start recognizing that the upper third of the breath is going to need your attention. And during the upper third of the inhale, you are lifting the ribs and the collarbone. It's like lifting a lid off of a jar to give it a chance to breathe, right? So from the lower to the middle to the upper, keep your attention respectful and clear. And aim not to complete your inhale by the first third of the torso, right? So you have to pace yourself. Same with the exhale, lower, middle, upper. Now, as you complete 2 more Ujjayi breath cycles here, see if you can make them consistent in length, smooth, and tranquil. When you have completed those, let's take the arms out to the side. Allow the shoulders to relax, relax any effort with the breath. And then decide if you're going to sit up coming forward or roll to the side. I like to come forward. Okay, so now there's a technique that we're going to be adding to this practice. And this is a 3-part breath. And we're going to be doing inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, pause. Okay, and as we're doing that, this is a 3-part inhalation. With those pauses, we want to make it pretty equal. So inhale 3, pause for 3, inhale 3, pause for 3, inhale 3, pause for 3. So you're going to complete the inhale in 3 stages. The exhale is going to be smooth. We won't interrupt the exhale. As we go into the practice, some of you are going to be like first time exploration. So definitely take your time. And I'm recommending the count of 3 because it's easy to keep track of. You can also imagine that your exhale is 9. So as we go into the practice, and some of you are more beginning, some are more intermediate students, you'll have the opportunity to practice exhale suspension at the end of the exhale. You have to be really responsible with that, right? It's like being responsible with like a new kitten or a new puppy. Like be responsible with what you're training in yourself. So that exhale suspension would not be recommended for beginners because you have to get more and more accustomed to the breath overall. We also don't want you to feel breathless or to become agitated or anxious, but exhale suspension can be this realm of like deep mental quiet. Okay, so let's check it out, and I'll cue that opportunity for those of you who are more intermediate students. So you can lie back. If you haven't sat up, of course, then you're still lying down listening. But if you have sat up, please lie back once again. Reach the arms overhead. Notice that the chin is naturally bowing towards the throat, and therefore the mind is naturally bowing towards your heart. Now start with your Ujjayi breath without any interruption, and just noticing it smoothly coming in, smoothly going out. And you're going to be counting to yourself because the length of your inhale is unique to you. So when you count to 3, you're going to count slower or more quickly based on the length of your breath. So when you're ready to begin with inhale lower third for 3 counts, and then you'll pause for 3. Then you'll do the mid third for 3, pause for 3, and then your upper third for 3. And you'll pause again before exhaling for 9 without any exhale suspension right now. Bring an overall attitude of mental tranquility and responsibility. So you'll notice that the first third is probably the easiest. Middle third, you need to expand the side ribs. Upper third, you're going to be lifting the collarbones and the ribs to get the upper part of the inhale to come into the top of the lungs. Make the exhale smooth for 9 counts. And if you're doing well and your mind does feel tranquil, at the end of an exhale, you can practice exhale suspension. What happens there is that you'll have exhaled thoroughly. Without inhaling, you'll gently tone the throat, which is Jalandhara Bandha, and you'll deeply relax the belly. Because of that deep relaxation in the belly, all 3 bandhas will come spontaneously. There'll be a suctioning effect in the inner body. And then you'll release those bandhas before you inhale again for 3. During the exhale suspension, don't make anything bigger happen, only the natural exhale suspension. You'll feel a tiny suction inside, but don't increase it. And you may find, for those who are quite practiced, that you can do the exhale suspension for 9 counts. So it's equal to the length of your exhale. You can release at the end of your next exhale. And of course, anyone who is beginning this practice, you just stayed with the basic practice there. Anybody who considers himself intermediate, at any time there might have been distress or disturbance, you go back to the more basic practice. Anybody who got the beautiful suspension for 9 counts, you might have felt that mental tranquility that can come when your practice is working well, not when you're forcing it. So please bring yourself up to sitting in whatever way you would like to get there. And we're going to take a seat for meditation, actually. So I'm going to bring myself back up close to the camera for this part. And now in this sitting period, we're going to have one more short practice that I think you are probably prepared for. And this practice is using sound into silence to remind the mind and the brain about where tranquility is. It's also because sound is vibration, and vibration is inherently healing for our system. Also really wonderful for the vagus nerve to have this kind of vagal tone that happens from singing, from using the throat. So this is a 4-syllable word. Some of you have learned this from me before. The word is Om. So it's I should do it this way. A-U-M, silence. The 4th syllable is silence. So it's A-U-M, silence. When you're saying the A sound, it's ah. So it's like the doctor checking the tonsils. Ah. When you're saying the U sound, it's ooh. And the M is mm. And I like to put the lips inside the teeth because the vibration goes in and up towards the upper palate. And the silence is the 4th syllable. So you're going to pace the sound of the breath and the movement of the vibration to be A-U-M, silence. Each part is equal. So you're not going to make the M last, eternally long and try to compete with fellow yoga students in a yoga studio. Why we tried to be the longest M, I don't know, but people did that. You're going to be pacing it. And let the silence be the last part of your exhale. So then you're going to inhale, right? So the silent period in your chanting is going to be long, but the silence in the Om sound is the last part of your exhale. Okay, so let me just change a setting here so we can get this. So if you think about it as when somebody rings a meditation bell, And we listen for that to go back to silence. So the silence that's coming there when you listen to the sound of the bell, the silence that comes at the end, that is a reminder for us of the silence of the divine, or the silence of consciousness itself. So like this. Okay, so let's try this practice together. I'm also going to suggest that you put your hands at your heart in the Anjali Mudra, like this. Rest your thumbs against your sternum. You'll feel the vibration of the A sound in the heart, the U sound in the throat, the M sound in the mouth. The silence is going to go up, sort of piercing the, we say, 6th and 7th chakra. So let's begin with an inhale. You may complete with your next one, and then rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes or keep them closed. Notice the overall, possibly the reflectivity of your mind. Maybe a felt sense of clarity or presence. And something that might happen is that your breath becomes almost imperceptible. The physical body and the breath body, and even the mental body then can get very still together. Rest in the silence. Let your mind deepen its connection to silence. And then raise your hands to your heart. We'll finish with a little chant, and I'm going to recommend that we extend this chant to everyone, everywhere. May they all have access to practices like this. But I'm also going to suggest that if you have a beneficial feeling right now, you can practice this chant for a future version of yourself that doesn't feel connected to this beneficial feeling. So like a moment of stress later in the day, or a feeling of forgetting this tranquility, you could use this kind of chant there as a reminder. As we chant it now, it's like a prayer we're giving to our future self. So the translation is, may we and all beings everywhere have ease and happiness. And really, may we have the means to ease and happiness or joy. Like this. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May everyone in the whole world, loka, have access to the means of balance, sama, a balanced attitude, with sukhi, with ease and happiness, sukhino bhavantu. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Before you go, thank you for sharing your practice, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps us to keep producing content. Hit like for any videos that work well for you, because that is feedback for me. And then also leave comments and questions down below the video so we can have a conversation with you about your experiences. Thank you very much. Namaste.